I think you're a genius. For me, I've decided
It's a big
already.
word. It's a big word.
We have decided. Yes, okay.
They are crazily good. I respect my Nigerian brothers. They are good. When they say they are good, they are actually good.
Like you.
Yeah. Yeah. You need to be valuable. Let me say it. Let me say it from the perspective of the people you're trying to meet.
Mr. Chris, welcome to the Truth Talk. Great to have you. You're quite an inspirational figure. I hope maybe not many people tell you, I don't know. But for me personally, when I sit with you and I just chat with you, your journey of how you made it into tech and the stuff that you're building, the problems that you're solving now, you are an inspiration.
I'm happy. I'm so happy to be that. And you're also an inspiration. You must know, like, the way you started Melsoft and how far you come in a very short time has really, really, really giving me like some points to note when I'm thinking,
Yeah.
No, definitely we are inspiring, but I mean each other. Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing that I noticed when I started speaking with you was your accent, right? Because obviously we're in South Africa and you have a very strong Nigerian accent. So tell us more about how.
I'm proud.
Yeah. Being a Nigerian entrepreneur in South Africa, how did you move from Nigeria to South Africa? And when was that?
Okay, that was I'm going back to 2011 now. That's how many years ago? 13 years ago. So I was doing. It was the peak of my. I would say the time where I was really, really understanding how to get clients and how to make money from doing this thing. That's I mean, I say thing because that's also what my dad used to say, that my dad wanted me to really focus on maybe being a doctor or an engineer that gets salary, that goes to work, and I was like really focused on this creative area. So I wasn't making money from it for a long time.
Okay, okay. Let's go back. Let's start at the beginning.
Good.
High school, you did it in Nigeria. Did you do your primary school?
Everything. Yeah.
College?
Nigeria.
Oh, wait, which college in Nigeria?
Yeah, about College of Technology.
Is that in Lagos?
Yes, Lagos.
Okay.
Yes.
How is it doing a degree in Nigeria? What is the experience like?
I mean, the broken leadership, comes around eventually. It's more like everywhere in the world where you go to school and you learn and you choose your course and all that. But Nigeria has a lot of strikes, that affects school time. So a 4-year course becomes a 5-year course because of strikes that comes in between. So it's aside that, it's more like everywhere else in the world where you just go to school and pick a course and do. The other thing that maybe I mean separates Nigeria is that there are a lot of options in terms of what you could study, and it started around the 2009 2010 time, where people started doing getting introduced into tech. So and we started seeing like independent schools like Melsoft is like many levels higher than this kind of schools. So just like under like in the garage schools, so we see a lot of people going to those schools to learn and just catch a skill and see if they could make money in it, with it, because there's a very high level of poverty. There's a big the discrepancy between the rich and the poor. You could be very, very rich and be extremely rich in Nigeria.
Really?
Yes, the middle class is a little bit thinned out because of the way the leadership is in the country. So there's a lot of people in the poverty space, and there's a few in the rich space, and the money just circulates in there. So the middle ground is the middle class is a little bit almost not existent.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's either really, really rich or you're
yes,
struggling.
or you're struggling seriously.
So, from you, which side were you on when you were in Nigeria?
So I would say my dad is in the lower end of the middle. You see, so I'm looking at the middle. I'm looking at the middle class now.
So, from your side, you said Nigeria is either you're very, very rich or you're very, very poor. Which side were you on when you were in Nigeria?
So I would say I was on the lower end of the middle class. So the middle class that was almost not existent. My dad was on the lower end because he was a senior manager in a bank, Union Bank, one of the big banks in Nigeria. Even though he wasn't well paid and his promotions were usually delayed, because I can remember we made a lot of, we were fasting and praying to get his promotions then. So I remember that, I remember that very vividly. So we're in the lower end. So we typically have food in the house. We didn't have computer for a long time. Then he bought then he bought a computer. Then my design career started that same day. Within 2 weeks after he bought a computer, I was learning how to type without looking at the computer.
Oh, wow.
So that was like the biggest investment I did.
And how old were you?
Then I taught myself how to learn how to type on the computer when I just left high school. So I was 14.
Okay. You
14.
left high school at 14.
Wait, that's high school. Yeah, 14. Yeah.
Are you a genius?
Amen.
Geniuses never say they're geniuses.
I left high school when I was 14. Like I was going to 15. So just in between there. Yeah. So then I was at home waiting for my transition to the college. Then I picked my first computer course. Then my dad bought a computer in the house. I learned how to type. Then I started opening up the glossary. All these programs you have got glossary.
Okay.
Do you know what that is? Like an
an
appendix.
Book. Yeah.
Because there was no internet then. This was back in 2003, 2004.
You're opening the glossary to
read what a computer is. They will tell you, Windows will tell you when you click on the space bar, it does this and does this. So I was cramming it. I was just cramming. I was just consuming. Because that was what was available to me in terms of understanding what a computer is. Then, there was a lot of story before then anyway, but I remember that vividly. So our family is at that tail end. So there was a lot of difficulty. But people still see us because you're living among 4 people. People still see you as you're better than them.
Yes.
But you know that you are not. You can't access a lot of things that can make your life improve.
I can completely relate to what you're saying. So Loris and I, we were not born into wealth, right? Because when Loris was 2 years old and I was 8 years old, we were staying with our mother, our single mother, in one room, right? So if looking back now, I look back and say, wow, we were struggling, right? But then the kids around us, you could tell that this one has it a lot worse. So I can completely relate to what you're saying.
You could, like sometimes I could, some of the events that I remember that were happening then was if there was a a football match that everybody was was raving about, we couldn't watch in our house. So I have to go and visit a friend. Like, please tell your mommy to allow me to watch. So I'm staying at the window. I'm checking because our TV. We have a TV, but it's spoiled.
Yeah.
We couldn't repair it. We have a big, all those box set TVs.
Yeah.
So but it's not working. So we run to a friend's place to see that. Then they got more toys than me, and I think we're going to talk about this later on. I was making my toys.
You were?
I was making my toys.
Okay.
So that was also very, very instrumental to who I am today. So I couldn't find, my dad wasn't able to buy a lot of toys for me. So when I say toy, I try to make it.
So you're an engineer by...
Yes, I love creating things. That was way back from maybe when I was 5, 6, 7, somewhere there. Yeah.
Okay, so you went to uni. What did you study?
So I studied electrical electronics engineering.
Okay, not computer science.
No.
Electrical engineering.
Yes.
4 years, 5 years?
So it was a 4-year course. I only finished 3 of it. So I got the so that is the so it's you can go you get the first degree. I mean the first diploma. Then after that's the first 2 years. Then you go and do like what's it?
Honors?
You go to serve in one of the schools. I mean, in a real institution. It's going to be part of your program.
Okay.
Then I did that. Then I went back to finish up, but I got really, really discouraged by it because it was like I was going nowhere.
What was it like? So you had worked for a little bit. Now you need to go back.
Yes, to finish
school.
up, to go back to school. So that's when I picked up. I went to NIT. You know NIT. It's a pub like an international school for computing that teaches you programming. So that's where I started. I was exposed to C++, Java.
Okay.
Yeah. So even though I never used those, I only studied them there. What exposed me to web programming, it exposed me to software engineering. So then I think after then it has been a lot of self-study, a lot of going to taking 1-year courses and all that to just fill tech gaps, knowledge gaps.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that.
Yeah.
I mean, you studied engineering, so
Yes.
naturally your mind is built to solve problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And then that was easier for you when you started now learning how to code and build apps already.
Definitely.
Because your brain was.
Yes. So the journey, I don't know, maybe it's going to be another question, but the journey of learning how to code started actually, much, much earlier.
Tell us about it.
Okay. It was 19, I was in class 3, class 2, 1990. I finished school in 1999. I finished high school in 1999. So 3 years before that, 1996, 1995, 1996, we got this teacher, Mr. Gap. His name is so clear in my memory. I could actually draw him out now, his face out.
Wow.
Mr. Gap.
Okay.
Mr. Gap is responsible for who I am today.
Wow.
He was our computer teacher. He exposed me.
Mm.
He exposed me to QBasic. Okay. And I've never been the same. I've never been the same. I built my first game in JS3. I built a game with QBasic using, the QBasic language. So I built, I don't know whether you've played this game on, you remember this classic game?
Snake?
This, was it Nintendo game? That's
Game
old.
Boy.
That Game Boy, yes. So there is this car race that goes like this. Then there's a lot of obstacles coming your way. Then the speed accumulates with time.
Yes,
so I built that game with QBasic.
Wow.
And I built Tetris with QBasic.
Wow.
In class 3, when I was in GS3.
Wow. I have 2 questions on that. That is extremely impressive. And you're building these amazing things at such a young age.
Yes.
What is your secret to learning new skills or new tech? What is the one thing that you said besides you said Mr. Gap?
Yes.
Is there something about you as a person that you said, because I was like this, I'm able to pick up new languages?
I think I answered that question, and that is I built my choice. So I think that's why I'm still learning on how to, I'm a parent also right now, but I'm learning on how to train my child in a way that they can be the best they will ever be. So sometimes buying them with too much toys deadens their inquisitiveness, their curiosity, because those things are there, so they just use it. They are not creating. They are not in create mode, they are in use mode. And when kids are in use mode, they don't see a reason to build stuff. So when that thing spoils, instead of them to fix it, they ask you to buy another one. That thing, I think it's really, we need to play it in a very nice way to help the child. Get them toys, but then when they break it, tell them to fix it. Then give them time, like enforce times for them to build their own toys. Because I would connect all of this thing back to me creating my own things. You know, since when I was a young age, I create, paper planes. I create, and it was in this, with this, I had this curiosity to have things how things work, you know. And when I see my friend and see that their car looks like a demon or looks like like a frog, I'm like, can I make that for myself? I can't have it. I can't steal it. So let me try and make it. So I'm picking my mom's used maybe cream bottle. Then I'm joining another thing and tying it with a rope and putting a tire behind it. It looks like that. I'm like, I can work with this.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't look nice, but it has helped me to make use of whatever I have around me to create something. I think I've been like that since when I was 6. You know, then it also defined the kind of friends I moved, because a lot of them were building things. So I'm like, I tried to do this, I couldn't do it. This guy did it, really. I'm like, how did you do it?
Yeah.
Then, because I can remember Larry. Larry is one of my very, very good friends. Then, you know, and we've been friends for like, you know, many years back. He works with Amazon right now. Now he's a senior programmer at Amazon. I remember he taught me how to use, how to take the rotor. There's a rotor in the, you know this cassette player.
Yeah.
You can destroy it and get the rotor that spins the cassette. You take that rotor, you can build a car with that. We built a lot of toy cars with that, with just batteries, you know. And we take sleepers to do the base of the. We take, you know, flip flops.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use it to do the base of the cars.
What?
I'm telling you.
That's incredible.
I'm telling you, flip flops.
So you'd put a small little engine.
Yeah, use the flip flop. So you get another flip flop, cut tires out of it.
Yeah.
You know, cut tires out of it. Now connect it with the rotor. So the rotor now rolls the tires. Then you cover it up and make it into a car. You know, that was way back since I was 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow. So would you say that the environment that you were in, the people that you were around, played a huge part?
Huge part. So the kind of friends I was attracted to helped a lot. You know, I was always attracted to people, to kids that were building stuffs too.
Yeah.
So things I've tried that I couldn't do, and I see other friends doing it, I'm like, oh, I'm so much of a dummy. Why can't I do it? You know. Then I try to learn from them. Then I try to task myself again. You know. So I think it was just the ecosystem, the environment, and also the fact that I've been already curious. I'm a curious kid, and I like to build things. Then I put myself around other kids that also build stuff, and you know, that's kind of symbiosis helps to build both. That's
for me. That's one of my most basic tenets.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
I always say this to whoever's listening: if you surround yourself with 5 people that are doing big things, you're most likely gonna be this.
I'm telling you, you rub off. It rubs off whether you like it or not. It rubs off somehow. It just find a way. It finds a way to get into your creative shrine. I would say it like the way when you are in that mood, like all of these things you've seen from all the other friends, they just come in. They just be like advices staying around you. So when you think about it, you like, this guy would have done it this way.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I change it a little bit like this? What if I just had a little bit of thing? And this is what becomes creativity at the end of the day.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think you're a genius. I've decided
it's a big
already.
Word. It's a big word.
We have decided.
Yes, okay.
It's a big word.
So you finished you didn't end up finishing.
I didn't end up finishing the full course.
Yeah.
But I did half so I got my 3-year you know, like you could take that.
Yeah.
So I did that. So but I didn't finish through the school. No, I didn't do that.
So then what did you do after that?
So immediately I got into design.
And when you say
It was
design,
it was about the time when my dad bought a computer. You know,
Yeah.
it was about the time when my dad bought a computer at home. So I learned my first design software was Photoshop. I learned
Okay.
Photoshop.
okay.
Yeah, so back in school, before I moved into this, back in school, we were learning. I don't know if you guys know about this software. It's called Plasma 3D.
I've never heard of that. Have you heard of that?
Nah, never heard of
You can
that.
see I'm way back.
Yeah. I'm trying to calculate your age now.
So do you want me to say it?
Yes.
I'm 40.
No
Wow.
ways.
30 was going to be a stretch. I was going to say
Same.
just 30.
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I look really young.
Yeah.
Very young.
What's the secret?
Nigeria. a lot of us look like this, and they're old. Like a lot of my friends look like this. Actually, yeah. So Plasma 3D was my first 3D programming. There's a very good friend of mine then, Ni Akimolayan, is one of the top guys in the Nollywood space in Nigeria right now. He's a celebrity in Nigeria right now. And mind you, let me tell you, friends that came out of my carcass
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
the Paystart guy, what's his name? Eddie, is it Eddie? The second one, I forgot it. I don't know.
Paystart guy, CEO, founder.
The founder of Paystart, the second. We went to the same
What's
school.
his name?
I think it's Eddie or something. Yeah. We went to the same high school, back in school, and
Okay. Yeah, correct.
we belong to the same. What's it? Like there's this class called the JET class. It's like a class for very, very, like intelligent students. So the reason why Mr. Gab was able to give me the book to study QBasic because I was brought into the JET class. The JET class is where they take the best of the classes, they put them in a special class, and they groom them differently. So Eddie was one of those. Was one of the students in that class then, but he was young. He was a younger. It was in a younger class then. Deji owns Seamless HR now. Deji is my very, very close friend. He's worth millions of dollars now. You know, I can count Olude Lekon is also one of the JET student then. Olude Lekon owns Jobberman. He's one of the three guys that own Jobberman. He was one of the guys that welcomed Mark Zuckerberg when they went when he went to Nigeria then. So what I'm just trying to say is that there is a lot that comes out from
environment.
Yeah, from that. So having people that build things, there's a lot that comes out of that. Like I can look around and just see like I'm the only one people are just waiting for. I've not actually built something big that everybody knows.
No.
No, I'm building. Yes, I'm there.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
but like out there, it's not yet like a public knowledge.
Like
now.
Paystart.
Yeah,
I
like Paystart. It's
understand.
not yet like a public knowledge.
Okay.
So like where do you find these people or these communities? Because a lot of people nowadays, like for example, if you're in university, you're surrounded by people who are drinking, who are partying all the time. Yes, they do work, but like, is there a place that you find these people? How do you identify that this one is worth to keep?
I would say it's a little bit difficult in today's world. I must confess that because there's a lot of things that are just there to distract you. Your phone is just there 24 hours to tell you the next notification, to spend the next 5 minutes that's going to turn into 5 hours. So it's there. So, but I would say the singular metric, I would say, would guarantee that you are always around this kind of people is you, which is how much are you curious? How much are you wanting this thing? So, because it's going to force you to do things that would put you around those people. So if you are someone that just want to, like, I'm someone that just want to build something. So it makes me take some decisions that will, so instead of me taking maybe a job that was going to pay me more, I want to be in a place that is going to help me learn one thing extra instead. So this job is going to pay me more, but I know I'm not going to learn much.
Yeah.
So I would rather choose the one that's going to make me, seriously, this is Google. I mean, this is Amazon. I'm going to learn the way they put their system together, or I'm going to learn the way they actually architect their software. I want to take it, even though I'm going to spend 3 months there.
It's not about how much money you're making. It's about
Yeah, so because there are a lot of decisions from me, which I'm going to confess, sometimes is not good on the financial space when you're growing. It's not good, but it just depends on what you want more. It just depends what you want more. And at the end of the day, I think it comes around to reward you. You get it, but it could demand from you patience.
Yeah.
It could demand from you patience. It could demand from you perseverance. So if you make yourself this person that is always wanting to create solutions that are useful to people, I think you're going to naturally get into spaces where a lot of these people are, because somebody's going to see what you did, even though it is not finished or it is not perfect. Somebody's going to see what you did. He was going to say, "Wow." Even if they are not building, they're going to say, "My brother does something like that. I mean, let me introduce you to my brother." Now you've met the brother. That next brother is going to go on to become the founder of one big company in the future. Now you know him. Now you can share knowledge. Now you can share values.
You have to be doing something. You shouldn't just be like, let me just go around these people.
Yeah, you need to be valuable. Let me say it from the perspective of the people you're trying to meet. You need to be valuable to them, So because when you're around them and it looks like you're just chitty chatting, these people are not going to want to see you the next time. They're going to make excuses to see you, or they're going to not tell you about that thing they were building. They're going to think that, okay, this person is just want to know, just to talk about Ramaphosa, and going to talk about
time wasters.
why they should be out of government. I'm not saying those things and those discussions are not good. They are good, but I'm always on the side. I'm going to favor doing things than talking about them. So I will say, okay, maybe there's some time to that, but I'm going to rather do some things. So if you're going to meet somebody like me or somebody that are doing things also, they might not like to chat.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like. For me personally, I curate my circle very, 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 very much. If I go on a coffee chat with you or invite you to my podcast or something like that, it means you are the person that I feel would get value from being with me, as well as also I can add value to.
And it comes with energy. It comes with energy. So because this part is really difficult.
Yeah.
Like I chose the entrepreneurial part.
Yeah.
So people must know that when I'm talking from that perspective, that you're building something that is changing the world. So, and that part is extremely, in fact, I think I underestimated
how difficult
it was.
Okay, so before we jump into that, because that's where the meat is, I'm sure. In terms of your journey from Nigeria to South Africa, what prompted that? And were there other stops that you made along the way? Did you maybe stay in another country before you came here?
Okay, so it started from a project. So I got a project to build a game for MTN. It was a friend of mine. He does marketing for MTN. He gave them that. So he got that job. He couldn't find somewhere to do it. Then a friend of a friend told. I was his younger brother's friend, and he introduced to me. Then I got that. That was one of my. So it was a time where I was getting a lot of big jobs. So everything just happened at the same time. I got another job with a pharmaceutical company. I was doing their website, doing their, So I was having a lot of, like, this young boy that was just not long out of school. He was making, then it was like 5 million naira. It was like huge.
How much is that in dollars?
In dollars. I don't know. Maybe you can convert for me. Maybe a million. Maybe in today's world. Then that was in 2009, 2010. It's. I think it's 10 times. It's worth 10 times what it is. What today? So it was like I could do anything with this money. That's the feeling. Even though it was small money for rich people, but for me then, coming from telling you, I told you about my parents. Coming from that, I could buy my own laptop now. I could rent a place for myself now. I could have a girlfriend now.
Yes.
So I got this offer to do some. So I was doing animations also then. I got this offer to do some animations for a program on DSTV.
Okay.
Yeah. So they invited me.
Wow.
To
so
South Africa.
World class.
Yeah. So they invited me. So I came here. So I stayed 3 months because my visa was 3 months. Then I went back, but I was already stuck. So I came back again.
Okay. Yeah. So it seems like your freelancing career really boomed, really. I don't know if it was really quickly, but it was the thing that brought you into.
Yes,
into
my freelance career brought me to South Africa.
So what would you say is the most successful, what would you say is the secret to growth in terms of the freelance route? Let's say someone has a skill, they've just finished a boot camp, or maybe they have the skills now and they don't want to take the traditional route of getting a job. They want to be a freelancer. How can they start and how can they grow?
I hope my audience are not going to hate me for this. I'm always going back to you. It always comes back to you. How good are you? If you say you are a front-end developer, you're a designer, how good are you? Or so there is that one as that's the first metric. How good are you? Then the second metric is how good can you get in the short time? So even though you are not really good at what you're doing, but if within 3 months of you finding opportunities, how well can you extract value out of those opportunities? I'm telling you, those two things will set you apart. I'm telling you, it will set you apart. It will do things like putting you, you will get the right calls. Let me start with that. Because maybe you did, because the reason why I got the game job was because I did a game earlier. I had a class, I had a friend in school when we were roommates. He said, you see this, I don't know, the Windows operating system, have you seen those animated screensavers?
Yeah.
There's this screensaver that draws rectangles. It bounces around. It bounces around. It bounces around like that. When you leave it, it bounces around. I forgot the name for it was.
Are you the one who designed that?
I designed that. I didn't design for Microsoft.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So,
because I thought you were the one who designed it for Microsoft.
No, I didn't design for Microsoft. But my friend just came up my roommate just came. He just said, "You call yourself. You say you write programs. You write. I've made a name for myself in school then as a programmer in class because I was solving a lot of my friends' computer problems. And when they have class assignment, they come to me. So it was like, you don't know more than just solving assignments. Like, have you really built something real? I was like, give me a minute, let me build it for you. Then he said, okay. Then there was a screen. Then they was showing the screensaver. At that point, it was like, okay, now this screensaver, can you build it? I was like, give me one day, I'm going to build it. The next day, I came up with, I built this in QBasic. And it had the opportunity, like you could then, the screensaver didn't, it was just one color. It was just one color bouncing around, and it was just a triangle. So I made mine. You can set the polygon angles. You could make it a triangle, a pentagon, and all the edges are going to be bouncing around, and it could be changing colors, and you could even create more polygons on the screen at the same time. So it gives this follow effect, like the trail effect, you know. So it was far beautiful than what Microsoft was. Microsoft screensavers was. So it was just that. Then anytime he has anything, any project that is related to programming, it is like he only knows one person that will deliver. So that was how I got the job with MTN. You understand? Yeah. So I didn't there was no LinkedIn. Like maybe there was LinkedIn, but I don't know. We were not on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It wasn't something we were doing. We were taking as a marketing thing. Then we were just forming communities. Looking for friends that looks like us, that talks like us. That was just all we were doing, and we were just reading. So I would say the most important thing is that you really, 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 really search deep and get your. I mean, do like show that you want it. You understand? And even if you are not good enough, I mean, within a short time, you should be able, if you're exposed to opportunities, you should be able to extract value from those opportunities. In doing those two things, you get into the rooms that people don't get into. You get connected to friends that people don't get connected to. People could tell you, no, I have a nice LinkedIn page. Those also works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I'm telling you, those links fade away quickly when they get to know how much value they get from you. When they actually give you that attention and they see that, okay, this guy talks too much, or
But
this guy
he
cannot really deliver. So eventually you go into that database of people that we don't really talk to. So, and you don't want to be that person. And now you say it's difficult. No, it's difficult that I'm not there. I've been trying to connect. Nobody's giving me job. It's just that somebody else is taking those jobs.
Yeah.
Somebody else that wants it more is taking those jobs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So we've learned right now that it's great to have a nice LinkedIn. It's great to attract a lot of people, but you need to actually deliver.
Yeah. You need to do do your own job to retain those network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for you, the transition from freelancing into entrepreneurship, what was that like? Is Business Expo, was that your first business, or how did you transition from working with clients to saying, okay, now I want my own thing?
Yeah. Okay, I think it started right from, I told you from the beginning that I build things. So it started right from that age of building things. But while you're growing, now you're seeing the reward, now you need to eat, you just suddenly see that before you could create something, if you're hungry, you can create. So we start trying to find a way to monetize. Like start learning how to monetize what you're doing, So I got my first gig as a designer in an advertising agency. I did that for like 2-3 years. I did some good things there also. I got, the company to do some project that actually made them a lot of money that they paid me out of, So there were just this glimpse of entrepreneurship in my journeys, glimpse, like I was working, but I introduced a project to the company, which they were not doing, and they took the project and they showed it to their client, and the client paid for it, millions of naira then, and they paid me part of that, So that was that. Then I left the advertising agency, went with my friends, started creating. Because it was difficult to I didn't have a computer still, Yeah. So I started the like a media. I was doing designs, web designs and design. So we were basically like a freelancing group. We were getting jobs from big companies, but we were working as a group of friends that were working together on those jobs. So there was roommate, he was doing the music. There was me, he was doing a lot of the marketing, and also.
So you were freelancers that came together.
We were like 5 of us. We came together. So we did a movie then, which was a flop, a big flop. I made money from it. Was a flop. We tried to do animations in the movie. We called it Carjola then. So we tried to make it gave us media attention then. So it was a mix of being an entrepreneur and a freelancer that got us all that. Then I saw that it was going to be difficult for me to make to consistently make money.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me try and start my own business. That was after we finished the movie and it flopped. I started my business. So I registered my company in 2010. At 2010, it was Bodum. Like I was trying to create websites and designs for small businesses and all that. So I got a few clients, and that was what grew into me getting a job from MTN, getting a job from the pharmaceutical company, getting the jobs. So I got a few jobs then getting the jobs from DSTV. That brought me to South Africa. So it was both. I was being an entrepreneur and I was freelancing. It was both. It was both. I don't think there's any time where I was fully an entrepreneur. I was not a freelancer, and there was any time I was not. I was just fully a freelancer and not entrepreneur.
There's always a bit of both.
There was always a bit of both in my journey.
Okay, so now Business Expo, is that your main gig at the moment?
So Business Expo is my main product at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
For those that don't know, what is it that you do at Business Expo?
So Business Expo is a platform for small businesses to digitize their business.
Okay.
Yes. So we are solving the problem of the digital transformation market is worth 880 billion right now.
Digital transformation is worth 80 billion.
Yes.
Okay.
880 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what and it is projected to hit $3.4 trillion in just 2 years from now.
Whoa. And
a lot of small businesses and solopreneurs do not know how to move online.
Mm-hmm.
You can agree with me on that,
Yeah.
So or even if they're using expensive tools to do it. So it's what I mean. My journey, you can see I deal with a lot of small businesses like every day, all these years, and I could understand, how they are struggling with design, branding, with finding their feet online. I was like, okay, why don't, and a lot of solutions out there are actually solving one problem, but they're charging them a lot for it. So it's very, very suitable for the North American market, the South African, it's suitable for those markets. But for most of, especially for African markets, it's really, really, even though you have the money to pay, but you don't want to pay, you are like, I'm not sure this is going to give me what I want, and I will have spent a lot of money. So I'm like, why don't we create a solution that allows people to get online and operate online, and find customers and actually make money.
So let's say I'm a small business owner. What do I do? I can create my logo. I can create my business cards.
A small business would go on Business Expo. The way they go on LinkedIn or Facebook, they'll create a profile for their business. Immediately they create a profile for them. If they don't have a logo, we generate a logo for them.
Okay.
And they can pick from beautiful, like hundreds of beautiful logos, So it's AI powered. So now the logo is now used in a business card, So they could access up to 20 different kinds of documents. Their invoices, their codes, their even social media banners, which they can use to market on the social media, So they could access all of these business documents, branding asset and business documents in seconds.
Wow.
Even though, Canva has got templates for them to also. So some of the things we use to differentiate ourselves from Canva is that, we number one, Canva expects you to be a designer. Canva wants you to move things, and we just want you to register. By the time you register, we take all those information, we use it with AI to generate any of the templates, any of the assets you want for your business. So we differentiate ourselves with that. We allow you to just pick the assets you need for your business. And the second thing now is that we create a digital office for you. So all of these assets which you have created are put into a space we call the digital office. So you can call it your website, actually. So, but it's a digital office. The reason why we call it digital office is that it's a little bit more than a website. Now, imagine your website as the feature that your client can come and generate an invoice by themselves. They can download your portfolio, and your portfolio is not fixed. You can just add something, to today. I mean, you can update it today. You can
just share one link with
one link, and they can access everything about you, and they can generate invoices, they can chat with you, they can book meetings with you. So it's more like what you would do in your office. It's like we're digitizing the office online, and we're allowing you to use it for free. Get it?
It's free.
It's free.
So how do you make money?
So the monetization has many levels. You understand? So the first way we want to monetize is through subscription. So I'm going to use huge example, 2 huge examples for you. Then I think you'll understand that way. So first of all, imagine Google was charging for you for each search. Are you really going to use Google? But today, I'm sure you have a Gmail account.
Yeah.
Good. Probably you are paying Google.
Oh, yes.
For some things.
Yes.
Good. But how many years did it take for you to get to that point?
It took a while.
That is it. That is the model we're using. So OpenAI is also using that model right now. They allow you to use the ChatGPT. Just get used to it. Let it get into your life. Use it every day. Then at some point they start monetizing. They will look at the way you use it, your behaviors, your user behaviors around their product, and they would now fine tune their product. So our model is this: we would allow people to use a lot. I would say most of all our features for free, in terms of the assets and all, like the offices, the digital office. You understand? We'll keep pumping new offices new assets every month. So you have hundreds or thousands of assets to use to run your business every day, for free. Now, where we make money is this: like people, for example, but there are going to be limits. Just like on ChatGPT, there's a limit.
You can't do everything.
You can't do everything. So for example, you have access to use up to 10 assets free every day. So if you exhaust for the 10 for today, you have to wait till tomorrow.
Okay.
For me, I think that's fair enough. Tomorrow you can come back and do, if you don't want to pay. But if you want to pay, you subscribe.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe to have access to hundreds assets every day. You understand? When you generate this business document, you're taking up space. So now this business document will allow you to store maybe up to 5 gig. And when it's more than that, you pay for space. You understand? So there are many levels. Then some of these business documents you can convert to PDFs. You understand? So we allow you to do 3 PDFs per day to convert. So PDFs, like you have your invoice, and your lawyer is saying, "Can you send me all the invoices for this year?" that kind of a thing. You can only do 3 per day. Now you want to be able to do more. You want to do 100 conversions in a day. So you pay for it. So we have identified a lot of areas that will put it into a package that just pay maybe $20 per month.
Your product is very technical. Yeah. You're a technical person, and I'm sure you hire a lot of technical talent. I'm pretty sure our very first ever Microsoft Academy student that got a job, Bradley Maggi, went to Business Expo.
And I'm really lucky to have him come on board then, because he helped, and he actually learned a lot. The only reason why we paused the thing, the program then, was that we were moving, about the opportunity. We were moving to Canada, and we are trying to get the structure right. Then we'll get back to hiring.
What is it that you look for when you're hiring a junior developer? What's the biggest trait that you look for?
For me, the most important is just the ability to solve problems. You don't even need to be really good. I actually prefer people that are not top of their game in terms of knowing everything they need to know. I like one thing that stands out to me always is you had this problem, how did you solve it? And how long did it take you to solve it? You get it? So the ability to be able to solve problems, the ability to be able to use to solve problems within constraints. You could have 2 hours to solve this problem. What decisions did you make? You could, at the end of the day, you might not get the solution, but the steps you take speaks a lot volume. It speaks volumes to me. I'm like, this guy, I can see myself in him, or I can see the kind of person I want to be in him. So that stands out for me. The ability, because this kind of person, you put them in environment, you give them more opportunities. They shine. They shine. It's like what the Bible says that to him that wants big things, like see what they do with the little things. You understand? So yeah. So if you have constraints, what are you doing with within the constraints of a project or a goal, or what are you doing with those things? So, but if you are this person that takes all your time, that that needs all of the boxes to be checked before you start, then you are not a good fit.
Interesting. Problem solving always number one for devs.
Yes.
Okay, so let's speak about the startup itself. You mentioned that you were accepted into a Canadian accelerator.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that is not easy at all.
Yes, that's
right.
That wasn't at all.
What are the biggest challenges that you, as a young Black founder in Africa, faced when you were fundraising for the Canadian market?
Okay, so the journey of fundraising, I'm going to get into the Canadian. The journey of fundraising, I'm going to just talk about the highlights. I've got, it is mostly bootstrapped up to now. But why I say mostly, because I got funding from friends and family. And one of the friends is the co-founder now. He's a friend of mine, the co-founder. But I've got government in Canada, in South Africa, I've got government interference like at least twice.
Like
from
grants.
Very, very, they wanted to give grants. It's a one thing, and we got to the point where we signed, And in fact, there was one that wanted, I'm not going to like mention names, but that was like a very, very top person in the country that wanted the 20%, and she actually was going to pay like 8 million rands to get to buy that 20%. That was 20,000 just before COVID. Then COVID hit and the deal fell through, So then it was in that process I registered for that's 2024. That was like 2 years ago. That's 2022. I saw the Canadian incubation form. I just in the process of me just trying things around, and I got the Canadian incubation invite, and it went through many levels, and it's been really tough in terms of it's been really tough in terms of being who you are, and like in terms of keeping everything together.
Yeah,
it's been really, really extremely tough.
What do you mean?
You got to build this product. You got to impress your investor.
Yeah.
But this product needs time to build properly. And the time you've got, you only have to take care of your family. You only have to, so you need to do work. Now, if you keep doing that, you will never go to build this product. And this product won't get an investor if it's not built. So it's like a catch 24. Like, like, you keep going in circles, trying to break out of the circle.
Yeah.
And this thing needs that other thing, but that other thing needs you to be here, So it's been like that. And you could spend years in that circle. I think I did spend years in that circle. I'm just breaking out of that circle now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this Canadian incubation came in, and they assessed my startup rigorously, and eventually I got the letter. So at this stage, so they found me, they got me investors. They invested $225,000, and they set up the company in Canada. So we're just waiting for the visas now, to be out. We're looking at end of this year or early next year to actually, but to actually start to actually run in Canada. But already we've been holding weekly meetings. We're going to have another meeting tomorrow, every Saturday, among the team, and we've got goals that
congratulations, man. I mean, fundraising is not easy
at all.
Would you at what point, as an entrepreneur who's fully bootstrapped, or who was bootstrapped for a very long time? Yes, you mentioned you got some friends and family funding, but then the majority of the funds came through bootstrap, right?
Yes.
At what point do you decide to say, now it's time for me to raise?
So I think I made the typical mistake of most entrepreneurs. I tried to raise from the start. And I learned the hard way.
Okay.
You understand? You waste time. You just talk, and you got people that are like, yo, nice idea. And they wasted my time. So I think I wasted like 2 or 3 years doing that. We're not building anything. We're just talking about it, or we're trying to do something. We're just talking about it, and people wasted my time. So I learned the hard way that the best way to get a buy-in is to have the product. I'm telling you. If anybody tells you something different, they're lying. Get a product, working product. You have to show that it is working. When you do that, the buy-ins are going to be flying in. They're going to be flying in. Then, especially in Africa, people want you to cut off your head and give to them. So especially when they see that you are the Messi, they are going to ask for unimaginable things.
Really?
I'm telling you, they want 80% of your business, but you have to do all the work, because they're giving you maybe a 20,000 rands. Like, for what? Like, which planet are you on? So if you really want to set the terms, set the tone of your business, you want to be in control, you have to do the work. Like, I'm so sorry. It comes back to that. Yeah. You have to go through all that pain.
I mean, there's a very famous entrepreneur. I won't mention his name because I do look up to him. But he says that he does not invest in any business unless he's getting 40% of that business. And then for me, I was like, what?
You see, the thing with that kind of proclamation is that if that same person gets a deal that only gives him maybe 5% for all his money, and he thinks that deal is going to fetch him like a 200% or a 1,000%, he's going to do it. He's only saying that because he thinks that, okay, there are no real big deals that could, So, but I'm telling you, what investors love to do is to multiply their money. They want to multiply their money in unimaginable ways. If you give that to them, they will change. They will do anything. They will change their beliefs for that.
Yeah. I mean, they just want that 10x, 100x.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I've got 3 questions left. The first one, as someone who has been around very influential Nigerian entrepreneurs, like you mentioned, the founder of Paystack, and you've also been around successful entrepreneurs here in South Africa.
Yes.
What would you say are the differences between the two types, or are we more similar than we think?
So, okay, like the Nigerian successful entrepreneurs, I would say there are so many similarities and there are so many differences. So the similarities are in the way the first principles of building a startup, which is building a product that actually works, that actually solves problem. In those ways, I think we are very, very similar. And I would give it to the South African economy. We do more compared to the Nigerian economy. But something I wouldn't take from my Nigerian economy is that those guys are hustlers.
Bro.
That's so
You don't need to tell me that
That's so
twice.
true. And everywhere.
Those guys can shine
Yeah.
anywhere.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
No,
Yeah.
they are the very bad ones. But
Mhm.
if you find the ones that are good, they are crazily good. I respect my Nigerian brothers. They are good. When they say they are good, they are actually good.
Like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I respect them for that. So when a Nigerian person is doing great stuff, I respect it because I see they do it on a very, very high level. You understand? So, but the bad ones, they just waste time. Yeah. So in those areas, I can see some differences here because of there's a lot of support system. People could just do a few things and they could just use the government support system and they could be on top quickly. So that way, when somebody say they are good, I'm like, okay, let's see whether it's just the help is getting or, so it's not like I'm I'm trying to reduce how much they've come or like reduce the things they are achieving. It's just that since you are telling me to compare now, I would say the hustling spirit in Nigeria is really, really great, and they do so much with it. The hustling spirit here is not so much. Is not so much like what I see back home. Yeah, it's not so much, but there's a lot of support system here. So, and because there's a lot of support system, they are more structured than us. They're more structured than Nigeria. So you would see a typical Nigerian programmer, there's so many gaps in his knowledge, and sometimes it's not good to work with. You want to leave the person and let them go, So, so those are the things I see there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then for let's say a young tech person, or maybe let's take you back to when you were still 18, 19, and you want to be an entrepreneur, what is the one thing that you wish you knew? What advice can you give to Loris sitting over there who wants to start his own?
I might even like like it would be too much for me to be advising. I think that's too much responsibility for me to advise. But I would say one thing is that 2024 is different. Is different. Is hugely different compared to where I was starting. So I don't think the advice that worked for me then would work into this world.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'll take the advice of one of my fathers. Because fathers is like last week. One of my fathers, Jeff Bezos in tech, and he was talking about focusing on things that don't change. You understand? So focusing on things that in everything you do in life, there are some things that will change, but there are some things that will never. So he said that, for example, people will always want to buy cheap things, even though you're using AI to create whatever you're creating, but you have to make it cheap. That will not change. So what I would say is that for young starters, things that will change, AI will change. So I would not say focus on learning AI. Yeah, learn it, because that's what you need to stay relevant in today's world. So learn everything you need to learn to stay relevant. But one thing won't change: being curious, being really valuable, making yourself really valuable. And this sounds a little bit abstract because I'm talking to a general public, but it's going to mean different things to different people. You understand? Staying valuable, being curious, it's going to mean different to different people. So, what I would say, make yourself valuable. Like, if you are a programmer, be the best programmer you can ever be. Even though you say, no, I don't know what the best programmer can be, fine. I'm sure you have a picture in your head what a programmer should be doing. Be that thing first. Find yourself around the other people that are programmers like you. Surround yourself with those people. When you do that one that is in your mind, you're going to see another one in front of you that you can just a little bit, one thing else that you can add again. Before you know it, if you spend 1 year doing that, you will be far away and far more valuable from where you started from. So it's going to be do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to be relevant, to stay valuable, whatever it takes. So you could be working in a big institution. You could be an entrepreneur. It's still relevant. That advice is still relevant to you. Do whatever it takes to stay relevant in that your space. Yeah. But one thing I was going to add before, and I know the time is going. Time is really against us right now. It's a mistake I made. I'm someone that knows. I've gone through. I'm sure like maybe 6 programming languages now. I've learned C#, very good with C#. Learned Unity for gaming. Learned Unreal, PHP. I'm focused on Java, React, JavaScript now. I would say for most young entrepreneurs or freelancers, I would say focus on one thing when you start. You're going to get to the point where you'll be able to know all of these things. But please, focus on one thing and go deep. I would say build a project with each. The way you move from a skill to learn something else is after you've built something useful.
Yeah.
With that one thing you've learned. Build something useful. It could be simple, but build something.
Not just
not just saying that I know it, I read. You're going to forget almost everything in the next 1 year. But when you build something, it stays with you.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Fantastic. Wow. I have so many more questions. I think we need to do a part 2. Because I have so many more questions.
It's always an honor to be here.
Yeah. Okay. So as for the True Talk podcast, we have 2 traditions. One is that we ask you a question that was asked by the previous guest that came, and you need to answer this question, and then you'll do the same for the next guest.
Okay.
So the question for you from Chido of Vambo AI is: what 3 languages would you like to learn in the near future?
Okay, I heard that question actually.
You prepare for it.
I've been thinking, what is it? Okay, number 1, I think I want to learn, I still want to learn Zulu. Because I've spent so much time here and my Zulu is bad. I don't know what I need to do to really learn. I want to learn Zulu. But I love Spanish. The way it sounds to the ear.
Sí. Pienso que sí.
Okay. I want to learn Spanish.
Okay.
The third one, I don't have anything in mind now. Maybe an AI language. I don't know. I want to see. Maybe there's going to be an AI language in the future. Because the way AI is, because the way AI is moving now, I think they're going to start speaking languages to themselves soon. So maybe I'm going to learn that also, or maybe create an AI language that I will learn. I don't.
Okay. And your question that you'd like to leave for the next guest, what would that question be? It can be anything.
Can be anything. Okay. I thought of that question. And what I thought of is that I'm sorry, I'm going to take you, maybe you're going to play a solemn music at this point.
Okay.
In the editing. So if you happen to die, you have 24 hours to live, to be alive. And the doctor says, the only medicine is you do something that truly connects your purpose in life. What would that be?
Oof. Wow.
That's the question.
Wow. Okay. They have a lot to answer. Mr. Chris, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. What a wealth of knowledge. What a resource you are. How can people connect to you if they want to connect?
Chris at Business Expo. Yeah, you can just send me an email to Chris at Business Expo. They can also connect with me on my LinkedIn, Bode Chris.
Okay.
Bode Chris at I think Bode _ Chris. I think that. Oh, I think Bode Chris. Yeah, Bode Chris. Just Bode Chris.
Wow.
On LinkedIn, and all the other platforms. It's just my company, Bodilum. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. And on our side, so we view you as one of the most top African entrepreneurs that are coming out. Like you said, you were around the founders of Paystack, but we are so honored here to sit with the founder and CEO of Bodum
Business Expo.
Business Expo. Yes. And we know that you truly are one of Africa's greatest entrepreneurs.
Man, thank you very much.
So on our side, we've given you this little book of other African great entrepreneurs. And then we hope that someday, maybe in version 2 of this book, your name will also be included.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. No.
It will be included.
Amen. Like there's one thing I really want to achieve. I want to create a product that is in everybody's homes, especially Africans.
Yeah.
You know, that is the question you were asking, and it was like, how am I going to would you prefer to be in Silicon Valley or, you know? And I'll quickly just respond that Silicon Valley will provide the support. Like, you know, like I'm here for 13 years now, and it's been really difficult to actually even push my startup up, you know? So, but Silicon Valley provides you that quick jump.
Support.
You know, that quick support to get your product out. But I bleed Africa. Like, I want to create solutions that solves problem here in Africa. Games, solutions in gaming, solutions in business, social networking solutions in different sections, especially for kids. My kids are watching Disney stuff all the time. You know, I want to create representational content, you know, in that space. I told you about animation. So for me, I bleed Africa. Like, I just want to go and get that support there.
Yeah.
And, you know, be able to, you've got so much like time that you could spend in this world.
Yeah.
No matter what the problem is in the world, you have so much time. Whether you like it, it's limited, it's counting, and it's going every day, you know. So you want to get the help you need in time, and actually, you know, get your solution out there. So definitely I want they don't really need to put my names in the book, but I want to create those things. That's just it.
Wow. Thank you. Great stuff. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Wow.